back to another video. In this video, we'll be talking about the Radial Pro48 active DI box. Let's just begin with a quick backstory of why I ended up getting this DI box. So at first, in the beginning, I wanted to connect my bass guitar to the front of house. I initially was just going through a bass amplifier, wanted to get connected to the front of house, so I went and I got a DI box. This DI box was a budget-friendly DI box, but it was a passive DI box. Rule of thumb is if you have a passive instrument, you pair that with an active DI box. And if you have an active instrument, for example, a keyboard or your laptops for tracks and stuff like that, you pair it with a passive DI box. So I had a passive bass paired with a passive DI box. I'm not saying it doesn't work, because what a DI box does, it converts an unbalanced signal into a balanced signal, and it was doing that. The only thing is I had to gain that channel pretty high. The issue with that, it allowed a lot of room for noise, so a lot of hum, a lot of ground loops and stuff like that, and that was a big issue. The ground lift switch, but that wasn't working out pretty well. The time came and I wanted to change, so I went and I got a Craig Technic DI box, active, the Craig Technic 10A active DI box, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good, but I still wanted to get the Radial just for peace of mind. So I eventually got it, and it has been working out pretty good for me. You're still gonna get hum depending on where the DI is placed and the cables and stuff like that, but it's pretty minimal, right? If there's a ground loop, I just click the button and it goes away. You unclick it, it's pretty It's gonna take a few minutes or a few seconds just to run through the specs of this DI box. So this DI box is a high resolution DI box with 48 volt phantom power, so it doesn't use battery, it uses phantom power. So if your mixer or interface has phantom power, then it's perfect for that. It has an input through a 15 dB pad in the front, and also it has a balanced low Z out at 600 ohms. I will leave an article in the description to explain ohms and impedance and stuff like that from the official radio frequency response of this DI box is 20 hertz to 100,000 kilohertz, so it's pretty much a lot of headroom. It actually says this Pro48 is an active direct box designed for use on stage in home recording studios with exceptional signal handling for use with both active and passive instruments. So I haven't tried it with a keyboard, for example, but what they are saying is that it can handle the pressure, basically. So the application of this DI, I will say, if you're looking for something that is reliable, something that is robust, if you move around a lot, for example, if you tour, if you travel to play, or you're even at home, this DI box will be good for the gig. In terms of sound, I will say it provides a pretty warm tone. I mean, it doesn't really matter, right? It depends on the player, it depends on how the bass is mixed and stuff like that. But it will provide a very consistent level, it will provide a very consistent tone, and so forth. So I was here editing and I forgot that I did not mention the price. In the States it's going for $129.99, and in Canada it's going for $149.99. So $129.99 US dollars and $149.99 Canadian dollars. You don't usually find these on deals unless you're buying them used, which should be good because, like I mentioned before, these DIs are very robust. So in conclusion, I have been using this for a few months now and I don't have any complaints. Usually they'll compare this DI box to a Radial J48, which is a bit more expensive, about twice the price. Reason being, it has a little bit more features and stuff like that, but it's really the application of the DI. You make the purchase based on your application. Hopefully I did help your decision, whether you wanted to check this DI out, purchase it, or you're looking into the radial stuff. And if you want to check it out, there will be a link in the description to the DI, so be sure to check that out. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going to go through a few sound tests, so it'll just be the DI for one, and then the other will just be directly into my audio interface.